Thanks very much, Scott. Can you hear me? Yep. Thanks to the Ministry of Sport, UQ and Hype for having me today. I do hope that my journey can teach some of the startups some of the lessons that I've been through. It has been a fairly wild journey in the last couple of years in particular. So this is really a case study of I've just bought the business that I worked for and why have I stepped out of being that secure employee into the crazy startup world. So a little bit about my journey. Again, as Scott mentioned, I started in traditional manufacturing. We had a family business that was a niche engineering business doing protective packaging, not only in Australia but globally. Back in 2011, we were acquired by a US-based, can you hear me better now? A US-based multinational by the name of Pelican Products. That was a fascinating experience. It was my first M&A activity. I was intimately involved in the acquisition, integration of the business whilst still running the business locally and then integrating it into a global business. So it was a pretty busy time. Took up many, many hours of every day. And once we sort of had our earn-out, if you like, I was introduced to the team at Buzz. Buzz approached me and said, look, we'd like you to come on board and have a look at the way we do business, have a look at our models, see if we can change anything up, see if there's a way that we can scale the business. So I joined the team back in 2014, spent a bit of time with the next speaker that you'll meet in a moment, Trav, right at the start. I think I started just after the launch of the red light, which I'll take you through that journey in a moment. In 2016, we took the tech side of Buzz business and created Buzz Connect and created our own brand to drive brand awareness in this fan engagement experience space. And then, as I mentioned just this year, earlier, a couple of months ago now really, I conducted an MBO and established Fandom Connect. So our focus is fan engagement, and it's about bringing that stadium experience into fans' homes through connected products that not only celebrate the game and the moments that matter, but can really drive that fan engagement for both brands and teams and leagues. So we call it Beyond the Stadium. So why do we think it's important? And why is fan engagement important for many areas? Sorry, there's two aspects here. There's the fans and then there's the teams and the leagues. And we have them now. There's comparatively very few sports fans that can actually get to the joy of experience a live stadium game. In some leagues it's only 2%. So it's hard to get that stadium experience from afar. So we bring those amplified experiences anywhere through smart fan engagement and a way to connect with other fans through our platform and ecosystem. For teams and leagues, there's a global market here that's underutilised, presenting us terrific opportunity. And also, the generations are now progressing into a digital space. There's younger generations that are switching off the TVs, might not be subscribing to new ways of watching the game, but they are most certainly in the digital space. So how can we use the platform and ecosystem to engage these younger generations of fans and keep them involved in sport when many of them may be switching off? So the platform is designed not only to drive fan engagement, but engage fans in new experiences. And out of this digital platform, then we can generate through the data of this fan behaviour a deeper understanding of fans everywhere. So to understand where we are today, I'll take you through the last couple of years in particular of the journey and the journey into the fans' hands. So as I mentioned before, the very first product that Buzz Connect launched, or Buzz Agency at the time, was the in-home red light in Canada in February 2013. Now that launched with a pilot number of products under 2,000, I think it was about 1,600 products. It was launched with some marketing behind it, with Budweiser in partnership, during a TVC at the Super Bowl 6 years ago in Canada. Those products sold out in 20 minutes. Budweiser's site crashed and it was like, okay, we're onto something here. There's fans out there that really have an appetite for experiencing a new way and bringing that stadium experience into the home. So then October 2014, excuse me, there was the launch of Pitches and Pints, which was taking that stadium experience into bars and restaurants throughout Canada. So 2015 really was when I joined the business. It saw us explore, well, how can we change up the business model? How can we move from an agency to a product company? What are the important secret sources that we need? And drawing on my experience with Trimcast, it was retaining the IP so that we had a business model that we could scale. So September 2016, we developed our own and went to Budweiser with the world's first gold-synced in-home glass. That glass went to market through an in-case promotion with Budweiser of 500,000 units was a pilot. It became the most successful campaign that Budweiser did globally. 500,000 cases of Budweiser sold out in a record time of 4 to 6 weeks, which was unheard of. The glasses went up on the secondary market for $58 each, so it was just crazy. And at that same time, we did, in November 2016, we did a stadium activation proof of concept. It was like, how can we really give the fans a way to bring a piece of the stadium home as they went to games? So we did our proof of concept, which was successful. We created our own proprietary network that we put into stadiums, and we had a technology in the cups that was dual. So it ran off an RF network in the stadium, and then when you brought it home, download the app, and then we could have that experience in homes through the app. So that was our very first stadium activation. I'll just... It's much better with sound. Why don't again with sound? While we're sorting the sound, that's right. I needed the glass water anyway, so it's all right. Actually, that'd be really good. We try again? Okay. All right, so it was great. The sound makes it really brilliant. There's a great soundtrack at the back of it. But effectively what we went from was an appetite of doing one stadium activation to 6. What we could see in a very short space of time, over I think it was 5 months, we were watching fans take the products home from the stadium, download the app. We had a 75% conversion from fans getting the cups in the stadium to downloading the app. We could see where fans were going within the country and across the US. So it was just fascinating. There's another video. I just love the sound that come through for the next video. But this is the world of a startup, right? It never works properly. So anyway, while we're trying to sort that out, thanks. The success of the activations in Canada saw us start to have discussions proactively led by the NFL with Bud Light sponsorship to launch what we then called the touchdown glass in the US. We started that, started with an activation. And this is actually quite a funny story given the tech issues we're having right now. But the indoor stadiums that we were operating in Canada and across the US for hockey held about 16,000 people. So within the space, I think our last stadium activation for hockey was in the May. we were asked to do September 2017 kick-off for the NFL season for the Patriots. So we went from this lovely, cosy indoor stadiums to 66,000 people, outdoor stadium. We'd never done that many before. The system was new. It was the next evolution of the stadium system. And we thought, okay, let's just give it a crack. We can make this work. So we put the cups into the cup holders the day before. That night it rained. And it didn't just rain, it absolutely thundered down. So all of the cups had about an inch or two of water in them. We got there the next morning. It's like, I'm going to walk this stadium, start tipping water out of these cups because they're not going to work. Anyway, it went okay. We hit the button for the first time and there was a cheer. We were in the sound engineers and the sound engineers turned around, a bit like these, and said, have you guys ever done this before? It's like, no, we haven't. But fake it till you make it, right? So it was one of the highlights of that year. The next morning we got the phone call from the Bud Light team and they said, look, we need to meet you straight away. We want you to do Super Bowl. So it was this crazy ride of 8 months. The fan interaction with the products at the activations was incredible. The social media exploded after each activation. So we were able to have hashtags trending. I think we had 30 million organic impressions. So it was really a great way for the brand to start engaging with fans, for us to start to understand the fan behaviour. No. Well, hopefully you get the gist. I'll just commentate over it, perhaps. So we only had about 8 weeks to pull this together in the end. We went from, as I mentioned at the start, we had a Bluetooth technology for the cups that went into homes. We then created a dual technology. And then we created multi-patterns in these cups. And we actually owned, for the first time ever, the pre-game for the Super Bowl. So, of course, Pepsi owns the halftime show. We created a show within the event that really engaged the fans. It amplified that experience, which was our objective. Fortunately, there's subtitles. I can send anyone the links that would like to hear. But it was a ton of fun. Again, this social media explosion. We put a bunch of products and did an e-commerce test for the products as well, online. With one tweet from the Patriots, we sold out 25,000 cups in 48 hours. So it really, again, validated that direction that we were taking for fan engagement products, bringing that stadium experience into people's homes. So at this point in time, we were doing 2 sports. We're doing hockey and then the NFL in the US. We then had in April 2018, we launched the home run glass with the MLB and Toronto Blue Jays. So that saw the 3rd sport integrate into our platform. And the touchdown glass, so the NFL glasses launched in Canada. So out of this, we ended up with hundreds of thousands of consumers on our platform. At one point, we had nearly 900,000 app downloads. So these products were a way for, we call them the Trojan horse, to get the apps downloaded onto people's phones, see the way that fans were engaging with the products during game time. We could see their demographic. We could see all this rich data about the fans, where they were. After the Super Bowl, we watched people connect, even though there was no games left for the season, but people were connecting and interacting with the products, which was fabulous. And so now we've finished, or started of this year, we had over 3.5 million units in circulation in Canada and across North America. So yes, things went wrong, but things went right, and it was a crazy time. So then why the MBO? Why after all of this did I conduct the MBO? Well, I've got a really passionate team of experts behind me, which is fantastic. We've built this scalable ecosystem that's now ready for the next stage of growth. We can consume sports really globally. We've got hundreds of thousands of users on the platform that are ready for the next engagement experience, and we've got consumers. During the playoffs for hockey, there was 160,000 active daily users on the platform connecting up their products as well, which was fabulous. What's my way there? But we've successfully scaled in a really short period of time. We've spent the last couple of years understanding more about how to engage fans and bringing that stadium experience into the homes. And we've developed the team to help with the growth of product and direction of the company to fulfil that vision. So it has been a wild ride, and to the startups out there, and I consider now we're a startup again, because we've conducted the management buyout just 2 months ago. So it's really, we've gone like this, we're taking a dip, and then we were set for the next stage. But I think some key lessons, and it's been a bit the theme of the day so far, is you need to be agile. You need to have that clear vision, but be ready to pivot at any time, take advantage of the opportunities that come forth, because there will be plenty. And sometimes you don't even know when they're going to come. For example, the Super Bowl. But we did it, and it was great fun. So the journey isn't always straight, but have confidence in it. It'll waver. Tech might not work. But ultimately have the confidence in what you're doing, and it's great. So why again, there's an evolving appetite of the fans, teams and leagues to elevate the excitement of fans, and there's really a great market for this product. The opportunity of uniting fans globally is immense, and we're going to tackle it head on, country by country, as we go through the paces. So we thrive on a team that's building something new and exciting, and that's working versus that safe corporate environment. We're pushing boundaries.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janet. Sorry, the